Alright, look, allegedly WWE is in turmoil right now as the global pandemic runs riot through the company. But that does mean when it comes to SmackDown, which aired around about 12, 16, whatever it is hours ago, that all the matches change. Now usually when that happens, silly things will happen here on Ups and Downs, but I can't do that because if I did do that this week, the whole show would just be me dressing up like a goof. And I know your reaction is that's all you do every week, Simon, and you would be 100% correct. But look, now I've told you, and we can just deal with this madness as best we can. But my name is Simon Melly, you are watching WhatCulture Wrestling, and you are watching Ups and Downs, the show where I give the good bits an up and the bad bits are down, and the next 15 or so minutes are going to be absolutely bonkers, because WWE right now is absolutely bonkers. Let's up those downs. So I think in all the turmoil, WWE at one point this week said, wait a minute, we can dedicate this week's episode of SmackDown to the dead man, to the Undertaker, because he kind of retired on the Last Ride documentary, which aired a few days ago. And that was actually a very good idea, because look, the man is a legend, he is a hero, and the opening video package they aired right at this point was so good, it gave me goosebumps. What a loser. I mean, that character, man, I think sometimes we take it for granted and we forget just how good it is. I mean, the entrance alone. Hands up if you really enjoy the Undertaker's entrance. If your hand has just gone down, I am going to find you, and I won't do anything because that wouldn't be fair. Either way, up. We cut away from this though to the WWE roster who was stood around the Performance Center and they were clapping and they were chanting, "Thank you, Taker." Now, I'm sure this sounded like a very good idea. I'm sure it was done with good intentions and it was nice. It was also one of the most cringiest things I've seen in some time. This was like watching Curb Your Enthusiasm. You're inside just like, ugh, it's just people going this, "Thank you, Taker." Like there was some kind of seal, there were better ways to do this. And again, I'm sure they all meant it, but when you force people to do things, it always comes across weird. Let's get it down. It also set up a bunch of clips that WWE were going to air throughout the show, and we'll just kind of wrap them all up here. Obviously, the first one was focusing on his debut, and that moment is still so damn cool. You see all these kids in the front row like, what the hell is that thing? And even Child Simon actually believed The Undertaker was dead. That's right, I bought in hook, line, and sinker. What a flippin' moron. We then cut to another package where John Cena and Roman Reigns were telling us how great The Undertaker is, and later on there was Stone Cold Steve Austin, Shawn Michaels, Triple H. You get what's going on here, so let's just take them all and say they all get an up. The Undertaker is a hero, The Undertaker is a Hall of Famer, I love The Undertaker, you love The Undertaker, his legacy is fine, his legacy is untacked. Well done, Taker. WWE then decided to air the Boneyard Match from WrestleMania 36 in its entirety, and this causes us a little problem here on Ups and Downs because we've already upped and downed it. And I will say, with the power of hindsight, I definitely think it was the best thing on that entire show, and I think also it's the best cinematic match we've seen. We can't do it again though, so instead I thought I'd bring you a little treat and bring you a bit of a surprise. I've been working on this in the background, and between me and Doc Brown, we have actually built a time machine, and as soon as I click my fingers, we are gonna fast forward to the year 2050, and we're just gonna see what's happening in the world of WWE. So you ready? Let's do it.
Hello and welcome to Ups and Downs. It's the year 2050 and we are going to give the good bits and up and the bad bits and down for WrestleMania 66. And I'm pleased to say we did get The Undertaker in his return match. We basically wheeled him down in his wheelchair and he gave someone, I guess, a wheelchair type choke slam, but it was fantastic. It's going to get it up.
I mean, none of that made any sense in terms of continuity. A, I'm wearing the wizard beard, breaking kayfabe, but I was. But also, if I did go in a time machine, why would I age? But we did it anyway. The Boneyard Match is brilliant though, mostly for all the quips that The Undertaker makes throughout. Like, in the first 5 minutes, he's going, "Oh, AJ, you dug a hole, huh? You wanna go in the hole? Just faboo." Baron Corbin then followed this and he was super pissed off that everybody was celebrating The Undertaker and said the only reason he's had a 30-year plus career was because he spent all of that kissing Vince McMahon's ass. He then accused the dead man of stealing money from the company for the last 20 years, and he never went on about this. He never expanded it. What do you mean stealing money? Has he been, stealing it from the merchandise tin? Has he been sifting cash because of money laundering? You can't just make accusations like this, Baron. I need more, and I got absolutely nothing. Corbin also claimed that Taker was responsible for holding his career down, and that also makes absolutely no sense, because who gets used more on TV than Baron Corbin? Although I will say this, I did enjoy the fact that WWE allowed the King to go out there and just be his usual jackass self. It works. Not many other people could do it. Jeff Hardy clearly found this very offensive, and he just attacked Baron Corbin before long. And if you're now questioning, wait a minute, I thought we were supposed to get some celebration between Sheamus and Jeff Hardy, just refer to the start of this video, refer to the intro. What are we gonna do? Hardy was still livid after we had seen another Undertaker package, and he was telling this to Sarah Schreiber, and then just blurted out, oh, by the way, the Undertaker was my mentor. And I was like, I remember you had that really good ladder match, I think it was on Raw, years and years ago, but at no point has anybody in storyline and kayfabe and reality said, oh, I tell you, the one person you want to talk to about The Undertaker is Jeff Hardy, but for some reason he's taken on that mantle. Hardy also said that if he was building the Mount Rushmore for wrestling, he would just have 4 portraits of The Undertaker. Jeff, that's not how it works. One can beat him and you have to, don't even worry about it. For some reason, we were then getting a fatal 4-way between Nikki Cross, Alexa Bliss, Lacey Evans, and Dana Brooke, with the winner becoming the #1 contender for Bayley's SmackDown Women's Championship. Now, this absolutely blew my brain because it came out of nowhere. It was more surprising than RKO, but don't worry about it. I went to figure out what was going on.
What's that, Mrs. Wizard? You are a big fan of Lacey Evans, but you don't think she features enough on television. Don't worry about that, Mrs. Wizard, with your very original name. Watch this. I just put her in a fatal 4-way match, but I must include 3 other people that also make no sense, otherwise people will think I'm being biased. I'll see you later for crumpets. Sasha Banks and Bayley were also on commentary throughout all of this, and they were just being their annoying selves, but they do it so damn well. You know what? All of this was actually quite fun. Best buddies Cross and Bliss cleared the ring before Nikki went, I see an opportunity, and she tried to use the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, the surprise roll-up, but Alexa Bliss kicked out. Look, Nikki Cross, that is embarrassing in the world of World Wrestling Entertainment. Everybody should be able to do the most devastating move in all sports entertainment, and if you don't, it's not devastating enough. Back in that training room, you need to work on it. Banks also quipped on commentary that she would never do that to Bayley, and that was a really good line. We're continuing that feud even though we can't see them. And of course, eventually Lacey Evans and Dana Brooke were in there, and then they were teaming up to beat up Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss. You know how this goes. I think, however, Nikki Cross somehow knew that I was going to be critical of her, because she did go and get the victory here. And do you know how she did it? With the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment. Bring it down, that's number 44. We're not going to stop these anytime soon, because Lacey Evans did slam Dana Brooke with the woman's right, but she turned around. Nikki Cross was waiting. She did this incredible maneuver, and she got the 1, 2, 3, which means at Extreme Rules is going to be Bayley versus Nikki Cross, and I bet every single hair on my head that Nikki Cross loses. And don't worry about the fact that we've seen Nikki Cross and Bayley fight many times before, and every single occasion Bayley has won. Why wouldn't Nikki Cross get a championship match? How you doing, big fella? I'm great.
Good. Cut to the back where the Lucha House Party, the New Day, Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro and the Miz and Morrison were all just having a big argument. Do you know? Nope. Do I know? Nope. They were just stood there in a line. They weren't looking how normal people would look at each other and just going rabble, 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 rabble. They weren't even saying real things. But it did mean that we were going to get an 8-man tag team match with the good guys taking on the bad guys. And much like the previous contest, it was just entertaining. Big E was the hero because he actually was putting story into this, because obviously last week the New Day got beaten up by Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura, so he was like, get one of those fools in here now, I want my revenge. Also, to get to the ring during his entrance, he laid down and he rolled down the rampway. Big E is not only the greatest wrestler in the entire world, but Big E needs to be Universal Champion yesterday. And it's already tomorrow, make it happen. Obviously, Cesaro and Shinsuke are a couple of cowards, so instead Big E just picked up Dorado and launched him into The Miz. And I always enjoy human beings being used as projectiles, especially because in most walks of life, you can't say that sentence. The real badasses of this match, though, were the Lucha House Party, and I can't understand why WWE doesn't use them more. Their flippy-dippy doodah stuff is so spectacular, and it's so impressive. Like at one point, Dorado kind of jumped off the top rope and gave a Hurricane Rana to John Morrison off the apron. That doesn't even make any sense, but that's what he did. Hopefully we are planning to do something with these guys too, because then after that, Grand Metalik jumped off the top rope too, he hit elbow into The Miz, and they actually got a pinfall, and they won. 1, 2, 3, what is going on? The best bit too is that after Metalik had got the victory, Dorado was back in the ring, and he was like slapping his buddy and hitting him, being like, oh man, we did it. But if you were tuned into SmackDown, at that exact point without the context, it looked like Dorado had turned on Metalik and he was just beating him up. I really laughed. It was then time for Braun Strowman. As he did make his way to the ring through the back, we were getting all these flashes of Bray Wyatt and his old Bray Wyatt character. So if I was Braun, I would go straight to production. I'd be like, what are you guys doing? You're ruining my moment. But of course that's not true, because in reality, Bray Wyatt has magic powers. And then Braun's promo, my word, it may have been the best thing we have seen in 2020. And on top of that, he's also got a new Titantron video where I think a train with his face on it, I think that's what I saw, goes smashing through some rocks and some stone. And as it does, it ties into the start of his music when he goes, "Rah!" Braun Strowman is becoming a caricature, but I want to go through his promo word by word.
I want to tell you, the first time I met Bray Wyatt, and for the first time in my life, I felt fear. And I'm not talking about bump in the night fear when you're a child. I'm talking about the type of fear that makes a grown man tremble. Now, one night we're sitting on the edge of that disgusting swamp, Bray's lantern glistening in the dark. And as I looked towards the water, a water moccasin started to slide out the water. That's right, 3 uses of the word water in one sentence, slithering directly towards Bray's lantern. As I noticed this, I jumped up and quick I wanted to stomp it, but Bray stopped me. He said, no, that's my friend. I love to be friends with snakes. I said that. I can't stop doing the voice. I was confused. As I watched Bray Wyatt walk towards this snake, he knelt down and got face to face with it. As the snake called up, it lashed out and it bit Bray right in the face. And all he did was laugh. He laughed at this snake repeatedly, bit him over and over, and in this instance I knew I was in the presence of evil. Or a crazy person. You see, Wyatt didn't get poisoned by this snake. Apparently Braun Strowman's a doctor now. He didn't bleed. He didn't even flinch when it bit him in the face. All he did was laugh, and at that point I knew that Bray Wyatt was the devil himself, and that's when I realized Bray Wyatt was the serpent. And Braun can't make up his mind at all. He's even the devil, he's a serpent. I was overcome with emotion, enamored with this feat I had just witnessed, and I couldn't help it. So I started doing the devil's work. Ha 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 ha. And the bad part about it all, I loved every second of it. And then this just went on and on and on with more gibberish and more craziness. It was like that time, if you remember from years ago, when The Undertaker and The Big Show were a tag team, and Undertaker did the same thing. He just, for hours, was going, me and Shaw were riding in the desert, and then I saw a snake, and we looked at the snake, and then we put our bikes on our backs. Like, what the flip is this promo? If you haven't seen it, go and find it, you will be baffled. Anyway, the point of all of this is that Braun Strowman now wants to do battle with Bray Wyatt in this swamp, so he can finally vanquish his demons. Imagine this happened in boxing. Imagine Tyson Fury said, all right, I will defend my championship, but I want to do it in the schoolyard, because when I was in school, everyone was bullying, but now look how good I am. The point is, at Extreme Rules, we are going to get some kind of swamp cinematic match, so like a Firefly Funhouse Part 2 or something, between Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt, and I actually think that's a badass idea, especially because the rumor is Wyatt is heavily involved in this, and when you have creativity in Bray Wyatt, 99% of the time, it's absolutely badass. As Braun finished all this too, you could hear Bray laughing in the background, so obviously Strowman decided to laugh too. So for a good 10 seconds on SmackDown, it was just ha 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 and ha 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 ha. And we're like, what are we watching? What's going on? This was too heavy-handed. This was too ridiculous. Like, I was entertained. I enjoyed it immensely, but come on now, it was so silly. And if I'm saying it's too silly, something silly has got out of control. This is getting it down. Promo with Baron Corbin afterwards. He hates Jeff Hardy, and in honor of The Undertaker, he will make him rest in peace. And never forget when someone says that, it is a death threat. And then it was this match, and look, it was fine. The whole idea is that Jeff Hardy is trying to defend the legacy of The Undertaker, the only glaring error there being that it should probably be The Undertaker defending his own legacy. But after Baron had been thrown into the ring steps, or Jeff Hardy got out the way and Baron ran into them by himself, they went back in the ring, we saw a swanton bomb, Jeff Hardy won, 1, 2, 3, again. Fine, okay, decent, dandy. So it was the best of a bad situation, I suppose, given again everything we talked about in the intro.
So I'll give it an up, but bear with me, I'm going to explain everything when we get to the up and downing for the overall show. And really, I gave it that for what happened in the aftermath. Halfway through this match, the likes of Matt Riddle, The New Day, and Braun Strowman had just decided to come to the ring because they wanted to support The Undertaker and Jeff Hardy, which is absolutely mad. I can't explain it. So afterwards, when Baron Corbin was beating up Jeff Hardy, these guys all got in the ring and they all do their finishes. If you've ever been to a WWE house show, this is how they end 9 out of 10 of them. It was okay, it was fun, it was fine. It did all lead to a giant picture of The Undertaker being put up on the big screen as they all saluted, but Jeff Hardy then did the Undertaker pose, and we probably could have done without that. Also, I did have a moment when I was like, is The Undertaker dead? It kind of felt like a tribute in that sense. It was nice though, because look, he is a damn legend. He deserves something like this. It would have just been better if it had been a bit more thought out and not like, shotgun, we need to do something, well, we can do that. I will say that Michael Cole really drove the point home here that The Undertaker is done, that Mark Canaway is retired, and we may never see him again. And after everything we saw at WrestleMania 33, if he does now come back, I can understand a few people being a little bit bemused. I won't care. Let the man do whatever the hell he wants. He's given 30 years of his life to the business. If he makes that choice, well and good. But it will come just a little bit like Boy Who Cried Wolf or Terry Funk. The final point I want to make is that when Hardy was making his own entrance, you know, you get all the facts and the stats that pop up to the side of the screen. The top one said enigmatic charisma, but enigmatic charisma was written in inverted commas, so it felt like whoever was typing this was doing it through gritted teeth, like enigmatic charisma. What a moron. It made me chuckle more than it should have. And that was that. That was the end of SmackDown. It is one of the strangest episodes we have seen for a while, but we understand why. And it puts me in a very difficult position because really, overall, it should get a down, but it was also dedicated to The Undertaker, and anything dedicated to The Undertaker should get it up. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sit on the fence, I'm going to be a bald asshole, and it gets an arrow in the middle. But no, I would not say this was a good show. But again, my respect for The Undertaker is through the roof. It's up the wim-wham. So I've done it now, and we can't undo it. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what a dick I am. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling. Head over to WhatCulture.com, read yourself some articles, follow WhatCulture on Twitter, WhatCulture WWE. Watch more videos here on WhatCulture Wrestling. Classic wrestling pose. You see, fan pics, always the same. 3, 2, 1. My name is Simon from WhatCulture. Thank you very much for watching. Enjoy your weekend, and I have no idea what's going to happen with WWE over the next few days. I have the fear. I've actually got the fear, much like Braun Strowman did when he saw some kind of sea serpent eat Bray Wyatt. Now you know.